Hey folks, welcome to the channel, and again exploring some of our alternatives in terms of our emergency radios. These radio charger battery pack combos that I think are quite neat, and they do have a very clear specific role. With so much conversation these days from different governments all over the world trying to get people better prepared, this would be something that I see a lot of folks out there being well served by. It's usually the case that we overestimate how well others are, mostly because of our own bias in terms of, who doesn't have a gun, ammunition, food, batteries, flashlights? Well, most people don't have any of that stuff. There's people that don't even have a single flashlight. They just use the cell phone. They don't have a box of tools or anything like that. They don't even know how to use them. So for the average person, something like this does serve a very real purpose during emergencies. Most of all, maybe the most likely thing they will need, just having the freaking flashlight is something that most people will be well served by if there's an emergency that's a little bit beyond a couple hours or so. A flashlight, having the option of charging this with a little solar panel, which is charging up there. So this is the new model, the latest model that I got. I buy these myself. They're not being sent to me or anything like that. So if I find anything like this or similar, I'll leave the links below there in Amazon. That always helps out and is much appreciated. That's from the affiliate links of Amazon. Doesn't change your what you're paying one bit, but it does help out the channel. I don't even have a name for this model. This is just solar crank radio flashlight and power bank. That's all they have here. Made in China, of course, and that's what you have. I mean, it's so poor, the description, it's not even saying that it has shortwave, just AM, FM radio, which, by the way, it does have. It's not great, but you can see it there. So you have a shortwave or world band, WB, that would be world band, that's shortwave, AM, FM. And it's not great. The shortwave is really poor. The FM radio works just fine, and the AM works pretty nice too. I like that you have the indication of how much battery you have left. Not all models have that, so that's nice. That's appreciated when you see that. I do appreciate also digital display instead of having to fine-tune these things. This one even has a little bit of a search function, and it has a clock and an alarm, which may be useful if you have to wake up at a certain time or whatnot. So these things can be quite handy. This one came completely discharged. The battery was at nothing, which is not a good sign. Usually you see these at 70-80% charge, but anyway, completely discharged. So I started using the crank, and lo and behold, it actually worked. Using the crank, after a few seconds, I got a few seconds of light out of it. Not very bright, not nearly as this bright, but it did work, and I got the radio working after cranking it a little bit. So I can at least say that, yes, that does work. It also has SOS alarm, which if you're injured, you're hurt, you need someone to, it's kind of like, this is better than screaming and shouting out, let's put it that way, and you're not being fatigued or wasting energy, and instead you have this. A feature that some of these models do include, and I guess it's fine. It's nice to have them. I do notice that some of these solar chargers are better than others. For example, this one, even indoors as I am now, and not exactly great interior light. I don't know if you get to appreciate that, but you do see a little bit of a red light there, meaning it is actually freaking charging. Incredible. That little thing is actually a lot more effective than you would have thought. This one, even more so. Look, seems like a super bright, nice little red light there. And yes, it's because it's a little bit bigger. Bigger than these things is better, right? So it's a small enough format that you could have this in a pocket of a jacket, definitely in a backpack, but mostly it's going to be for your box, your emergency supplies in your house. If you have just a little bit, you have a box, one of these plastic boxes with a bit of food, some emergency supplies, and you throw in this thing. It's going to be doing your radio, flashlighty, emergency needs. Is it great really for charging a phone? I don't think so. It's really not going to be that big. It's just a 2,000 milliampere battery at the most, and probably not the best, but it is something that charges with a micro USB type C. And you can charge it, you can charge the device itself, or using the same cable, charge your phones if you're a normal person that has a type C charger, of course, none of those weird, well, what is it? Apple is now using type C like everyone else. So yeah, that's what you would need. I think that overall it's nice. Personally, if I had the choice of, talking with a manufacturer and telling them what I would have liked here, I would like a better battery. I would like to have like a 5,000 or even better, really, just a 10,000 milliampere battery. That is pretty basic for even your 10, 15 buck little battery packs, the little battery banks that you take on trips and such. That should not be all that expensive to add to something like this, and it would make a big difference, actually something useful. And while we're at that, on the other hand, I would also like to see a proper solar panel, something that could be, I don't know, about this size, right? This one actually works very well. This charges for real. And after many years, it actually still works pretty decently, which is surprising. I don't know if they're in business anymore. This one, yes, this one was sent to me for testing by the manufacturer, Waka Waka Power. That's pretty cool. It actually still works, surprising. But something like that, quality, I get it, would be a little bit more expensive, but man, you're talking about something that you can actually leave under the sun, and after a while, you can go and somewhat charge your phone okay enough. Forget about charging your phone with a hand crank. That is not a thing. You will not get your phone to charge that. You will be wasting, yeah, I don't know how, maybe, what is it, like an hour maybe of cranking so as to get 5? I have no idea. If someone has the time to test it, or has tested it and wants to share that, let me know there in the comments. I would love to know how that worked out for you, but I wouldn't have any faith on charging a phone with just the crank. A decent solar panel, yes, that actually works, but it has to be a little bit bigger than these tiny ones. This is most about cost, cutting down costs and making these things as affordable as possible, which I entirely get. But with a little bit more investment, you can get something that is decent power bank, a nice flash, a nice battery, a nice solar panel, and a nice actual flashlight instead of this bluish thing that has a horrible tint. Man, it would make it a lot better. I get it that this is like for $9. Again, if I see something like this or similar, not even a name brand here to go by, but whatever it is I find closer to this, I'll leave there in the description of the videos, as well as with my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. Both of those will be there. But for a little bit more money, I think it's interesting if we could have that option. If someone in the manufacturing side of things in China or has access to that would like to try it out, that would be neat. Folks, that's going to be all for now. See you on our next video. Take care.